United, together, here we stand. Sumana, Ashley, Felipe, your workplace wellness hour band, where culture meets health and wisdom takes hold. Fresh perspectives and insights unfold. Building stronger teams, brighter paths ahead. A workplace where passion and purpose are fed. Join us, engage and elevate your game. Wellness that works puts growth in the frame. Works puts growth in the frame. Mental clarity, physical strength, financial insight, tools and strategies that get it right. Real stories, real growth, real change that lasts. Practical guidance that moves you fast. Workplace wellness hour brings substance and spark. Together we flourish, together we make our mark. Building stronger teams, brighter paths ahead. A workplace where passion and purpose are fed. Join us, engage and elevate your game. Wellness that works puts growth in the frame. That works puts growth in the frame.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to season 4 of the Workplace Wellness Hour.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, we are back here with another season with my amazing co-hosts Sumana Jetty and Ashley Llewellyn, and I am Felipe Cofino, and we are so excited to come back. We hope you liked our new intro. With new season comes new ideas, new music, new challenges too. So I'm excited about talking about this topic. But before we do that, I guess we should probably do some introductions. And Ashley, I'm going to hand the mic over to you to start off with your introduction. Over to you.
Amazing. Thank you, Felipe. Hello. Oh my gosh. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be here with all of you and with you both.
Also, share what you did this summer too, along with your introduction, Ashley.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, okay. I'll start by introducing myself. Hello. I'm Ashley Llewellyn. I am an artist and creativity coach, and now a brand new founder of a budding online creative community called Dear Imperfect Artist. And essentially through I know, so exciting. Essentially through this work, my goal is just to help people feel more empowered to navigate uncertainty, to resist perfectionism, and to feel comfortable reclaiming their creativity by committing to a creative practice. Thank you, Felipe. There's my Instagram. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I feel like it's been so long. I'm like, wait, what are we able to do in this platform? Always amazing. What did I do this summer? It's been a crazy summer. I essentially spent the summer having a lot of fun, with my friends and saying goodbye to them because I'm planning on moving back to Las Vegas for grad school. So just a lot of planning and a lot of fun, but it's been a wonderful summer and I'm so excited for this conversation and I'm glad to be back with you both. I will pass the mic over to Sumana for your introduction.
Oh, Ashley, I am just so pleased to have you back and pleased to have the show back. 4 years, Felipe, I honestly like this all day today. And even just when we were debriefing a couple of weeks, was it last week, I think, on Instagram, in our video call, I kept thinking, oh gosh, I cannot believe that it's been 3 years of consistently showing up on LinkedIn live after we kind of closed the door on Clubhouse, and every other Monday night we've shown up on Workplace Wellness Hour. Ashley joined us in, kind of right in the beginning of season 2. And now we are doing season 4. Like, I can't even believe it, Felipe. I don't know if you can believe it. It's so wild.
It blows my mind. It completely blows my mind. My wife and my kids were like, "You're doing season 4? It's been 3 years." I'm like, yeah, this is our 4th year. And they just were shocked. I remember the first time when you called me, I was in my back room. I remember sitting on our beige couch, and you guys said, "I would love to start and try to do one episode." And we thought about one episode.
Yeah.
One episode to this.
Oh my God. One episode has turned into like 3 years of collaboration, friendship, and, learning. And I'm just so grateful. I think I just want to start by saying that I'm really, really grateful to have your support and Ashley's support, and to have Ashley back here with us. And for those of you who don't know me, I see a lot of familiar names. So I think most of you know me. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sumana Jetty. I am the founder and CEO of Jetty Wellness, and we design evidence-based workplace wellness solutions for organizations that are mostly large organizations, but we've been very, very blessed even to work with smaller groups, leaders, managers. I'm a bit of a nerd. I love science, and I love taking some of those science-based strategies and creating frameworks and solutions that workplaces can use, and managers can use, and teams can use, and we can just create a more healthier workplace environment and learn to work better. I think if you love your job, and if you can find a way to sustain in that job without burning out, your quality of life is going to be a lot better. And that's what I'm aiming to do through the work that I do at Jetty. My summer, Felipe and Ashley, has been a summer of rest and recovery and getting stable and just getting starting some new things, saying goodbye to some old things, but climbing lots of mountains. I'm sure you've seen some pictures, but I've climbed a lot of mountains this summer, which have been great, like literally doing some hard things. And I have loved doing that. And it's always a bit of a challenge when I start. I don't think I'm a big hiker. Never really loved it all that much. But over the last probably 3 or 4 years, I've just sort of enjoyed doing the hard climbs, and we've been doing a lot of harder climbs and summiting to the top of like these gorgeous Rocky Mountains, and just loving the peace and quiet that you get when you reach the top. And every moment of that step to get to the summit is the best part of the journey, and not the top of the mountain. So that's what my summer's been like. And I am excited to pass the mic over to Felipe to introduce himself and tell us about his summer and some wonderful things that have happened in Felipe. I think every time I log on to LinkedIn, there's a surprise. So I'll just pause there and I'll let him tell more.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me start off by saying how happy I am that we're all back. I mean, I've missed hanging out with the two of you. And Sumana, I can't believe it's been 3 years, and it has flown by, but it's helped me in more ways than I could ever tell, because it's helped me during my high times, my low times. It's helped me stay on top of trends because of you. And Ashley, I'm just so grateful that you're back, because you just bring so much insight and so much light and fresh perspective. And I know that you've gone through a lot, but it's great to hear you and your voice be back and excited about things for all of us. For those of you I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Felipe Cofino. I'm a passionate HR exec, a LinkedIn top voice currently, as long as LinkedIn gives it to me. It might go away tomorrow. I don't know, but I'll keep on mentioning it until it does. And then I'm founder of Cofino Consulting. As you can see the QR code, if you need some help, I'm available for contracts for helping out with HR services, recruiting, employment branding, or just career coaching. But if y'all wouldn't mind, give my YouTube page a follow. It's where we house the workplace wellness playlist. It's also where I house a lot of the other playlists I do with Careers, Chaos, and Coaching with Melissa Houston, the Social Saturday Chat with that crew. And then I do have a new one coming out, which people are like, are you crazy? You're doing another one? I'm like, it's not going to be weekly. It's not going to be monthly. It's going to be like quarterly at most, probably. And it's about future voices, future-ready voices, people who are speaking about the future of work, who are in high senior level positions in the world, CEOs and other senior leaders out there, and really just getting their insight of how are they tackling the future of work, with whether it's about AI whether it's about hybrid remote work or whether it's just about day-to-day challenges with generational gaps. So that's where I'll be having a lot of those videos. As far as what's happened this summer, as soon as this show ended, it was one of those things where I did say to myself, I want to focus on me and the family. Little did I know, I did not have any of this planned when we ended our last show. Like the week after, my future son-in-law came and asked for my daughter's hand in marriage. And then 2 weeks later, they got engaged in front of everybody. He planned it so well and surprised her. And I could not ask for a better son-in-law than this man for my daughter. He really is somebody who I know the good and the bad, you know. So I knew him before he dated her because he was my niece's best friend. So I had some insights too. Like you get insights about friends more than you would about someone's boyfriend or girlfriend. And so, but it's been wonderful to see someone treat her so well. So very excited about that. What is happening next October, 2026. So feel free to send me a coffee for help with the financial side of it. But anyways, the other thing that's happened was that time I took, focused on myself, my family. I kind of set a goal that I'm going to make something that I've been waiting to do for 20 years come to fruition, which was publish Miranda and Max, and which is a children's book that I was inspired by my daughter when she was 3 years old. My daughter who just got engaged and is 26 years old now. Yeah, that one. So along with Nick and Jai, who has been my publisher for 2 other books I co-wrote in, she was willing to do this children's book, and I could not have picked a better person to help me with it. And so that is out on Amazon. It's called Miranda and Max. Feel free to purchase it for any of your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, friends who just had kids. It's on Barnes and Noble too. But I just launched a created with AI a cartoon video that goes with the book. So now if you purchase the book, it has a QR code that takes you to that video on YouTube where I animated the still pictures in the book into a cartoon with music written by Mike LeBlanc here on LinkedIn, who coincidentally also wrote the music for our intro. So thank you, Mike LeBlanc, for that. If you need a songwriter, check him out. He's a great songwriter. And then the last thing I'll say about this, and I'll stop, I swear, still a lot happened this summer, was that with this book, it's just been ongoing. So I had my family in Spain that they actually purchased it because some of them read English. They said, you should do it in Spanish. And so I said, you know what? I took my shot at it, translated it, sent it to them. They proofread it, sent it back with corrections. And tomorrow I'm sending it to my publisher. So we will have a Spanish version. And then it sparked the bug in me that I can't get rid of it. I had the second book written out for my son and Marquette because there's a story behind them and what happened with them. I won't go into it. And then it also sparked me to write a professional business book that will be coming out in regards to retirement. I have started it, and that's all I'll say about that. So it's been a busy summer, but I'm excited that we're back so we can focus on workplace wellness, talk about us, talk to our community, our network that's here. And let me just give a shout out to all the wonderful people that have already joined us here. It's so great to see so many old friends. Nick, of course, my publisher I mentioned, is here. Jackie Hallberg, who I'll be on her show in 46 minutes from now. So keep an eye on that show. Kenneth Dunner, it's great to see you, our friend. Leslie Flowers, who is always supporting the show with her LinkedIn TV guide I call. PP Torres, thank you for coming. We have, let's see, who else do we have here? Oh, Adrian, thank you for being here. And Leanna, and we have, let's see here. Oh, Gregory, Liverpool, thank you for coming, my friend. Christy Williams, thank you for being here. Lisa Fevick, our wonderful women's health expert there who specializes in menopause. Jihan, my HR buddy, thank you for coming. Keisha, thank you for coming here as well. And I think that might be it for, Joshua Lee, great supporter. Joshua, I love that repost you did of that Future Ready Voices of like my thumbnail on like, it looked like it was Times Square, and you reposted it. That's the kind of support I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. So thank you. And then, sorry. Mike LeBlanc is here, who I just mentioned, of course. And Tree's here as well. Great to see you. It's been a long time. And Charito. So thank you all for coming. We're going to invite you up on stage in a little bit. First, we want to talk about the topic, introduce it, and share a little bit about our thoughts on this topic and what we're doing around the great lock-in of 2025. So with that being said, I'm going to be quiet for a minute and hand it over to the amazing Sumana to introduce this topic and share a little bit about what it's about and what we're going to talk about today. So, Sumana, over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Felipe. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And I'm really excited to start season 4. And Felipe is really kind. And I do keep an eye on trends and things that are exciting and things that I feel we can talk about in Workplace Wellness Hour. So the Great Lock-in is something that I came across on TikTok. So basically, it is just an idea for us to get very clear, so to commit and to lock in on personal growth, on routines, on habits. And we don't want to wait until New Year to do the resolution. We want to start to do this September 1st to December 1st. So that's typically the timeline that we want to reset for the fall. And so rather than waiting around for January 1st to make our goals, and December is a bit of a write-off with the holidays, why not use the next 30 days to get very clear on what we want to achieve and how we want to stick to our routines, what habits we want to create, what habits, some bad habits we want to get rid of. So there's a few different things that we can think of. And that is what the hashtag is we just want to reset for the fall, get very clear on what those messages are for our own personal well-being. So what I would invite you to do while maybe I can ask Felipe and Ashley to start kind of thinking about or sharing with us what their great lock-in strategies are and what do they want to commit to. I'd like you to maybe think about, what does this mean for you? And you can use the hashtag, the Great Lock-in. And I'll tell you, while I was thinking about this on TikTok, LinkedIn also picked up on this trend. So if you even type in the word Great Lock-in on LinkedIn, there's quite a few creators here on LinkedIn who have started to discuss what this could mean. So we thought, why not just leverage an idea that is very much related to workplace well-being, but also related to our overall well-being as well. So that's sort of the broad thing. So what I'd like for you to consider, and if you'd like to share in the comment box, would be, for this Great Lock-in, if you want to take the challenge from September 1st to December 1st, or from September 15th to the beginning of December, what would that look like for you? What habit do you want to take on? And the more specific you get about your goals and these routines, the better that it would be. And we don't want to overwhelm you with too many things. So Felipe and Ashley and I decided to only share 3 things that we are going to just zoom in and commit to for the next 3 months, no matter what. We are locking in on those very 3 specific goals. So that's what the topic is about. And we're happy to read your comments. But in the meantime, maybe what I'll do, because I know Ashley's got her 3 strategies ready to go here, and a bit of some ideas on how to creatively use them. So Ashley, why don't you tell us your 3, the Great Lock-in habits, routines, or goals that you want to commit to from now until December 1st. Over to you.
Yes, amazing. Sounds good. First of all, I love this topic. I think it's just genius. And I also feel really aligned with the practice of starting on your goals a little bit before the new year, because it just feels a little bit more prepared versus starting on the 1st. And, you kind of have to have everything together then. Just ease into it. I really like this. And I want to start with just 3 quick strategies. I was thinking about Felipe's 5. So I have 3 creative call outs. These are some strategies for helping to achieve your goals, but also to be gentle with yourself and to allow yourself some flow and some creativity within the goal achievement. So my first creative call out is, when you're creating these goals, lower the bar, like make it as low as possible. Rather than committing to your end product, instead commit to whatever your starting position is. So an example might be if you're someone who wants to regularly go to the gym, maybe you start by way lowering the bar to just laying out your clothes 3 nights in a row, and then slowly build on that. And that's a way for us to resist perfectionism. If we are not concerned with the end result and we're just taking the little baby steps along the way, it becomes a much more enjoyable process. While I'm talking about process, try to create process-based goals. How can you adapt your goal to honor the process just as much, if not more, than the product? So some examples before, maybe, and this is actually a real example, when I was writing out my notes for this, my goal was to create 5 paintings, but I decided to change it to honor the process of creating those paintings. And instead, I just want to paint for an hour every week. Ongoing, it's commitment-based, it's process-based, and however many paintings I end up with between now and December is what I'm going to end up with. And the last piece of this is to be adaptable. I saw a really awesome video on TikTok earlier today where the creator did a really good job of acknowledging that when her cup is empty, what she is now doing is just adapting the goal to match her energy level. How can you do this? Another of my friends has a really awesome strategy. What she does is she has 3 energy levels that she could choose from. So if she is low energy, that's a 1, middle energy is a 2, high energy is a 3. And then she adapts her routine based on the energy level. If she wakes up one morning and she's finding that she's a 1 in energy, that just means that she goes for a walk and, has a tall glass of water. That's all she has to achieve. Versus having a 3 energy, that might mean that she's, going to the gym, she's making herself a full breakfast. So she's sure to be adaptable with her goals. So those are my 3 creative call outs. And then for my goals for the great lock-in between now and December, I'm going to say December 15th. I want to read 3 books about either creativity or perfectionism. I just want to learn more about that which I believe so deeply in. Number 2, my brother and I have committed to running a 5K while we're together for Thanksgiving. So I want to at least go for a 2-mile run one time every week between now and Thanksgiving. And then my last goal is to at least be in bed by 11 p.m. every night. I've been going to bed too late lately, and I'm going to break myself of that. So those are my 3 lock-in goals. Felipe, I will pass it over to you to hear your goals.
Actually, before you do that, I wanna I was hoping that we can ask the audience because we do want them to actively listen to what you shared. So do you have a question you want to ask the audience before we give it to Felipe?
Yeah, I'm interested in hearing maybe what goal could you change that you might have on your great lock-in goals to be a little bit like less stakes? What goal could you have that you could change to lower the bar? I'd be interested to see that in the comments. And please feel free to comment and share. And with that, I'll pass over to Felipe.
Ashley, and I love your strategy, and I love how you shared the thought process behind it, because I think that helps people understand a little bit more about why you're doing it that way. Because we're all going to give you different strategies here, and it's about how our minds work, and our minds work differently. You all know that. So, but I love how you are recognizing, no, if I did this many, I might get overwhelmed. I'm going to set a time limit, and whatever progress I make, it might be more, it might be less, but I think that's just smart strategy so that you don't burn yourself out. And we always talk about not burning out, so smart. For me, let me share the 3 things that I do with all my goals. I will not, for those of you that know me, I will not go through the whole SMART test thing, but I will tell you, I run all my tests for all my goals for the SMART test still to this day, and I encourage you all to do it as well. It takes you like 3 minutes, y'all. If that. So Google it if you want to know more about it. I won't waste time because I know I talk about it. No, actually, you know what? I take it back. I will say what it stands for. SMART is the acronym that stands for make sure your goals are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. I'm sorry, relevant and timely. People like to say attainable instead of actionable. I switch it out. I put actionable instead of attainable. Now, the other things I do is I break up the goals into areas of focus. And what I mean by that is I realize sometimes I like to bite off more than I can chew. And sometimes, like when I started writing this book, I'm like, oh, and I can do a second book and a third book and a fourth book. And I started getting all excited about all these books. I wanted to put them all out and write them all now. I'm like, okay, stop. Kind of like Ashley. Pace yourself out. And also, you've got other things in your life besides a children's book. So I realized that I need to break them up in areas of focus. So my 3 goals for this great lock-in, I created one that was more mentally focused, one that was more physically focused, and one that was more financially focused to stay in trends with what we talk about here. And then I also always remind people that regardless of what goal you're working on, in the day for the day, just write down on a post-it note the 3 things you want to get done that day. You might have a to-do list a mile long, but for that day, write down 3 things from that list. And if you get those 3 things done, go back to the main list and do some more. You're going to feel so much more accomplished than if you put 10 things on the list and only got 8 done. You're going to feel like, oh, I didn't get enough done. So I just want to share that because that helps me feel very accomplished. When I feel accomplished, I get motivated to do more, whether that more is more rest or more work. Now, here are my 3 goals that I have for this great lock-in. One of them was going to be the book, but kind of like Ashley, I realized I am thinking of pushing that book to January, the first quarter. But if by some grace of God, I have that windows of opportunities where I have the time, I might try to, but I'm not going to make it a must. So my musts are this. I'm always being a forever learner with, especially in the HR field, things are changing, AI is changing. So I commit myself to making sure that I do a certain number of credits. When you attend an HR webinar or seminar or conference, you get HR credits to maintain your HR license. And it's a minimal amount. Well, I take that number and I bump it up a little bit and I say, okay, I'm going to get this many credits. So let's say it's 25 credits a month, which might be 8 to 10 webinars or attending functions and things of that sort, to really make sure that I'm staying on top of all these changes, these trends, make sure the way I'm handling it, there aren't other ideas out there. And committing to that 25 per month keeps me mentally focused and sharp in my field. The second one is financial savings. I mentioned earlier, my daughter's getting engaged next year. I do have money that I had set aside, knowing that I had a daughter one day that was possibly going to get married. So yes, that was there. But the reality is I wanted to make sure that I still have some more in savings just in case we're able to help more. So I have a minimum of 5%, but my goal is 10% every paycheck is going into the separate account for that potential wedding need. And then if we don't need it, vacation, baby. Sorry. And then the third goal is a physical goal. I tend to get a lot of steps when I go in the office. The reason being is every hour or two, I go walk around the block in DC, and they're big city blocks. When I get home, I'm usually averaging 12 to 15,000 steps a day on the days I go to work. However, on the days I work remotely, sometimes I'm averaging like 3,000, y'all. It's pitiful. So I'm challenging myself that I don't need to do 10,000 a day per se, but at the end of the week, I need to average. The average needs to be 10,000 a day. So I'm going to push myself when I am working remotely to go out and do more. And I don't need to go to the gym to do this. I can walk around with the dog. I can go for a walk with myself. I can go up to the store, top of the, 2 blocks away instead of driving up there like a lazy butt. So that is my goal of those 3. Sumana, with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, my friend.
I absolutely love both of you guys' goals. I think this is such a great strategy to start to think about goals sooner than waiting until the new year. I'm reading some comments, which I love. I saw one comment from Satyasree, one goal of mine is to finish reading Conversations with God by Neil Walsh by mid-October. That is a very specific goal, and we love goals like that. So the whole idea of the Great Lock-In is not just to think about goals, but it could also be to think about your mindset. What kind of mindset do you want to have? What kind of is there a bad habit? So I really did like, Ashley, when you said, I want to go to bed. I want to try to go to bed by was it 11:30 or 11? I think that's a fantastic goal. Did you say 11 or 11:30?
By 11, that's the goal.
There you go. By 11, that's the goal. And that could also be a very good mindset change. And Felipe, obviously all of yours are fantastic. And I like the different buckets of how you've categorized your lock-in goals. What we also want to do, folks, is since we're doing this in September, we are going to do a checking in on the Great Lock-In in December. So when we do our December show, please come back. And if there was something that you found yourself writing for your own personal lock-in, do come back and let us know. And we will give you an update as to how our goals and mindsets and habits went about. So for me, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's do some accountability this season.
Yes.
I challenge you all to put in your goals in the chat.
Yes.
And then we can reference this chat in December and hold all ourselves accountable.
Yes.
So, three of us just had it unrecorded. So our three are already recorded here. Put it in the chat and let's join the accountability train with us so that we can come back December and see how we did. There'll be no shaming if we didn't make our goals, but let's try to get ourselves a little bit more motivated.
Yes. And I like Jay's comment, which is actually very similar to Ashley's very first creative call out, which was lower the bar. Jay says, have a goal not to pressure or force yourself to complete the goals on time, but take baby steps and accomplish the goal by doing step by step the process of it. And being a little adaptable, having that flexible mindset, I think is really good. So yes, please, folks, put your goal in, use the hashtag, the Great Lock-In. And so when you do come back in, I have a journal, and I'm sure Ashley and Felipe, you probably have your own little notebooks and things like that. So I refer back to mine. But I like the idea of accountability and putting it in our chat box. And maybe what I will do is write mine as well after the show is finished in the chat box. So it's also there for you to read. And maybe we could all do that as well if people don't want to listen to the audio. My goals or my lock-in, I'm getting very, very clear on three things. The first thing is my mental health and well-being, and I'm doing a lot of work with my therapist to get very clear on what my personal and professional values are. And I know this seems really basic, but it's not just about understanding what, like the list of, I think I have about 25 that I've been very clear that these are my non-negotiable 25 values. That's step one. But the step two is to hold myself accountable as to when I get triggered and when those values are being violated and how that makes me feel. So I'm getting very clear on what that is in my personal life, but also in my professional life, because as you know, if you are an entrepreneur, that can get very confusing, and we can say yes to a lot of things, boundaries get violated, and having those set of values as our foundation can really help us get clear on our next step. So that's the work that I'm going to commit myself to. I started it, and I'm going to commit myself to getting more clear, not just writing like the word integrity, but writing down why that means to me, what it means in my personal life, and just almost adding and writing it page by page for myself. So that's something I'm going to do over the next 3 months. The second thing I'm doing, and if Melissa's on the call, I think I may have said to her that I am limiting my social media consumption and my availability, which means I am not on social media on the weekends. And I've been very good about that, especially because I'm climbing a lot of mountains and I'm so busy and active during the weekends that I don't go on social media. But if I am posting content, these are pre-scheduled content that I pre-schedule and they get posted. But I'm not consuming any new content on basically from Friday night up until like Monday morning, I'm not on social media. So I'm getting very specific about what I'm consuming, but also what I'm putting out. The state of the world is very confusing right now. So I am not posting for the sake of posting. I'm posting because I feel like there's value that is to be provided, and just getting clear on that. And the third thing I'm getting locked in on, which I think also ties into Felipe's goals, is financial wellness. I want to commit to listening to podcasts. So if you have any recommendations on some financial wellness podcasts, please put that in the comment, because I would love to get some value on who these creators are and what I can learn and what books I can read. But I want to get very clear on some of those financial goals and get more understanding about money, about investments, about how to decrease debt, about how to I'm a scientist, so we don't learn a lot about money and math. Well, math for sure, but not money as much. And a couple of weeks ago, I posted on social media that, you know, in Canada, they teach us how to play the ukulele or, you know, just any kind of instrument, but they don't teach us how to talk about money. So my commitment over the next 3 months is to listen to a money podcast or a financial podcast. So those are my 3 things that I'm locking in. I'm going to do it no matter what. And that's what's happening in my life. So I'd love to hear from Felipe or Ashley if anything that I said enlighten them, or if there's any comments. And folks, if you're watching or listening, please do let us know if anything that we said inspired you as well.
Well, first of all, I love that everyone has put in the chat, or not everyone, so many people have put in chat goals. I mean, we have Hannah, we have Guy, we have Peter, we have Jay, we have Nicole, we have Gregory. Gregory, I don't know which date in December, whatever our last show in December is when we'll probably do it, or second to last show. So one of the Mondays in December. But Ashley, you were about to say something. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say exactly what you said. I'm loving seeing all of these goals in the chat. I feel like it's so inspiring, and going into fall, you know, I feel like that's the time where all of us kind of start to go into hibernation, but this is just getting me ramped back up. So this is super awesome.
And honestly, look, we talk about goal setting all the time, but we really do try to practice what we preach, you all. We don't just sit there and try to spew stuff that we hear somewhere. It's stuff that we practice. And I gotta tell you, I never would have gotten this children's book. I mean, I'm an HR guy. Do you know how many people are looking at me like, you're HR, right? You're still in HR. Why are you writing a children's book? And that was probably the number one question. Why are you writing a children's book? And I was like, because it's been a goal of mine for 20 years that I wanted to do when my kids were young. And now I hope that my grandkids get to enjoy it. But things that feeling of accomplishment when you reach your goal, we want you all to feel that in December. We want to celebrate all of you all and hear your stories when you reach those goals. Now, we do have somebody that's already joined us on stage. So I'm going to bring Gregory Liverpool up. But I did put the link in the chat for you all to join us on stage. We got about 20 minutes, and we do have a hard stop because I need to respect Jackie's show and be on time for her show. But we do want you to come up and share your goals, your questions around the Great Lock-In, and make sure that you know that your question might be somebody else's question, so it might help them out. But with that being said, Mr. Gregory Liverpool, how are you, sir? Welcome to the Workplace Wellness Hour. What's your tell us about your goals or your thoughts about this?
I'll keep it short and sweet and sugar sweet. Probably that's the lines of some rock band. I can't recall which rock band that has that had that line in their song, but Def Leppard. Yeah, just came back to me, Def Leppard. So my goals is 3 is to beat back, I'll say, try to beat back the negative stigma of people who are neurodivergent and neurotypical people. That's one. My second one will be is to get employed at a company that sees me as me rather than being told to think in their language and overall lose my type of unique value propositions and my values per se. And my third one is, and this is kind of like a medium to long-term goal, to get an HR award in my industry per se. So any type of award we have, like a CPHR Manitoba Excellence in Gala type of event, and I will say that I probably would not get an award and stuff, or my in terms of that type of range, shape, or format, but they did some changes in regards to they expanded some of the criteria and the awards that they have right now. And if you want to do an official fourth one, try to get on a some type of volunteer board committee with CPHR Manitoba or where have you, in regards to here in the city. But the thing is, there is a lot of volunteer staff in my city that is requiring experience, which is basically the catch-22 of volunteerism in this in my city and in my province, which is basically states for you guys here in where I live here and stuff. So it's basically a very, very catch-22-ish thing that a lot of, not, I will say, that needs to be addressed up front, and very, very in a comfortable but uncomfortable type of situation here. So that's basically what it is and stuff, and just leave it at that.
Well,
If people don't know me, I am your HR canary in the coal mine, and I see stuff that people don't see and they kind of overly missed it, but when it comes to the end, my way of thinking always prevails in the long run. So that's about me. If you want to know about me, I'm on the LinkedIn page. Right, in the words of Deion Sanders, I ate hard to find, basically. So that's where I come from. So thank you.
Gregory, you always share some great insights and great ideas and things that you're dealing with. On two of the things you said, would it be okay if I shared a little bit of feedback back to you, or a little bit of insight from my perspective? Would that be okay?
In the words of Sonia Beville, who was one of the lead people in the Pulp Fusion Collective, take her best shot.
I swear, I think you have an eidetic memory, because you quote so many quotes sometimes, it amazes me how you remember them all. But no, first of all, I want to say kudos to you on those goals. And the song you're referencing, I think it was Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Did
we've
we lose
lost
Felipe?
How is that possible? How did we lose
There you
Felipe?
go.
How did I wait? I was still talking. I thought I was still here. What happened?
Gosh.
All right, what was the
We're
last
glad
thing
you're
you said?
back.
You were going to go in terms of short and sweet, sugar and sweet, but you were
Okay.
going to, that
Here we
type
go.
of thing, yeah.
So speaking of sugar, I think the song was "Pour Some Sugar on Me" by Def Leppard. But,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, now, your goals. First of all, I think they were, the three of the four were awesome. I think the neurodivergent work and advocacy work you do is one of your core values, and you are a great advocate for that. Keep on doing that, because you're making an impact. The employee at the volunteering, I think that's awesome. I think definitely important to do. Finding an employer that matches your values, awesome goal. Love that too. The HR award, that one there, the only thing I say about that one being a goal is it's not fully in your control. It's very subjective to the people who vote for that award. Now, if your goal was, hey, these are the qualities that they're looking for, so I'm going to strive to improve in these areas by maybe taking some classes on LinkedIn Learning or whatever, that would be great. I just want whenever other people have direct impact on the award and it's very subjective, it's hard to make that a goal. Does that make sense? I'm not saying you shouldn't strive for it. Don't get me wrong. Still
I
strive
know,
for it.
no. But the thing is, if you look at I will give a little insight into my orbit in my HR community. Okay.
Well, wait, hold on. We may not have time to get into all that.
I know. Okay.
Because
I know, but it's because to me, I'm thinking my HR community is a little, I will say a little clicky type of thing, and I'm thinking that people needs to have, they need to have some type of person who's making crazy organizational or industry type of change to virtually, I will say, have people's attention and stuff. Like I will say, in the words of Billie Jean King, pressure is a privilege.
okay, hold
And stuff.
on one
So
second.
yeah.
Let me. So my point is this: besides the fact that it's hard to make that a goal, I'm not saying it's something you shouldn't strive for. Definitely strive for. But the other reason why I'm saying that I question if it's the right goal for you is because you were already being negative about it by saying I probably won't get it because of whatever the reason, the politics or whatever the reason it is. So I just, if you're feeling that way about a goal, there's something not right about it that you have to revisit. So, but the other three goals are spot on, and there's no question about that because I think that it's really important. Now, the one suggestion also with the volunteer board, you said you were having some challenges there. What helped me when I wanted to start getting on boards and volunteer and help out was I started off with advisory boards and actually was able to get a lot more success in that area. And I just wanted to share that suggestion for you in case you wanted to try that. But I love the other goals. I think the other goals you've got realistic, measurable goals that you can really have some control over. The HR award, again, don't take me wrong. Strive for it, go for it. I just want to make sure that it's something that you have a little bit more control in your goals. But Ashley and Sumana, what other insights did you want to share about this?
Yeah, I'll go in the words of LeBron James. I need something to put some respect on my name per se. So
no, and exactly, strive for it, absolutely. But the measurable goals that people use to, or the qualities that people use to gauge that award, strive to get more of those goals, those qualities strengthened, if that makes sense. But Ashley and Sumana, I want to hand it over to you all. What insights or thoughts do you have about this?
Yeah, Gregory, I really loved, I wrote this down and underlined it a million times, how you said at the end of sharing, my way of thinking always prevails in the long run. I think that is so inspiring. And I think that is the perfect mindset for you to have for all of your goals. I mean, getting employed at a company that values and sees you as you need that mindset. You need that confidence to just be like, you know what? If you don't see me for me, if you don't value me for me, then we're not the one. And so I'm really excited come December to hear how you did on all of these goals, because I think that you're already like right on the money with getting there. So very excited for you. And I'll pass over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Felipe, thank you, Gregory. I think the only comment I wanted to add was just to refresh our memory on the original introduction I gave about this concept of the Great Lock-in. Typically in September, a lot of us fall back or are very vulnerable and can fall back into the trap of the burnout because summer is ending. There's a little bit of grief there, and we're just transitioning, very naturally into work and school and routines picking up and things changing. Holidays are coming up, and I know it's different in Canada, like our Thanksgiving and Halloween and Christmas is more spread out than the United States. But what I had said in the beginning of the conversation is think of this Great Lock-in as an opportunity to reset. So from January up until, the end of summer, if there was anything that you did that has probably made you you know, a little bit weaker and not committing to your habits, you know, and especially in the summer, you know, we're up late, we're you know, maybe drinking too much or hanging out with our friends too much and maybe on social media too much. Summer is generally that time of year where we tend to relax. So what I want you folks to think about is, how do we use the next few months before December to just restart some of those good habits, so that from the science perspective, you know, what I want to say from our well-being, like workplace wellness, our perspective, what I really want everyone to think about is, how do we prevent fall burnout, which happens a lot to a lot of people. And by the time October comes around, we're barely able to keep it together. And then holidays start and we are burnt out when Christmas, you know, the crazy chaos of Christmas starts to begin. So in order to prevent that from happening, how do we end the year strong? So I love your goals, Gregory. I think they're great, but I also want you to just think about pausing, reassessing, and even going back to what Ashley and Felipe said, is like lowering that bar a little bit, which doesn't mean that the goal isn't on our vision board. It just means, what can we achieve from now until December 15th, for example, to end the year strong, and then continue on with those, you know, long-term, medium-term goals. But for now, let's just get very clear on picking up those good habits, mindsets, routines, and in smaller goals is what I think the great lock-in, the momentum is, that's what that's all about here. So I'll stop there. I know we just have a couple more minutes. I don't know if anyone else is in the green room waiting, Felipe.
No, we don't have anybody else right now. So, but Gregory, you know, again, great goals. And again, I don't want you walking away thinking that I thought you shouldn't strive for the HR award, because like right now, there's those HR credits that I'm doing on my own. That's my goal of 25 credits a month. I'm doing that. The hopes might be for me to get promoted next year, or for me to get a bigger increase during increase time, or a bigger bonus. But I know that those things aren't fully in my control. So what I can control is, I'm going to keep on gaining knowledge and keep on sharing relevant information and keep on improving the workplace from what I learn. And that, in hopes, will reach the goal of getting promoted or more money or things of that sort. So, oh wait, Nick says she's in the green room. Oh wait, there she is. Okay. So we do have one more person in the green room. We have a special guest, my publisher, but also a longtime LinkedIn enthusiast here who's been doing shows for quite a while. But Nick, thank you for coming up. Tell us about what your goals
Nick.
are. What
Hey,
are your goals for
guys.
2025?
Hi,
Oh,
Nick.
hi, everyone. Thanks for having me up, because I know it's almost the end. And of course, I wasn't looking at the time when I jumped in. So just really quick, I want to say, you know, it's not the first time we've talked goals, but what I really enjoy about your show in particular is that you're very strategic in the way that you discuss it. Like, you come already with a certain pre-planned questions, if you will, and then all of you have a slightly different take on the way that you handle your goals, which I think it is so important that we share that. There is no one hard and fast rule to getting through your goals. And I do think as well, while the accountability is necessary, I like Ashley's idea of, when I say lowering the bar, for me, I look at it as always giving yourself enough time. So you have to give yourself a buffer time to achieve a goal, because to me, you always have to take into consideration the variables, right? Um, so yeah, I just wanted to say great chat. My goals, well, my goal was to start eating breakfast and taking vitamins, which I've done for 4 days. Woohoo! Let's see if I can get through the rest of the year. Um, hmm. Last quarter goals, get the last 3 books published successfully. Um, yeah, I think that's it for short term. Oh, next year I have one big hairy goal. And I think having one big hairy goal it's good, because that's like Felipe's big hairy goal, right? That one that it's attainable, but you're really gonna have to like push hard for it. If things go the way I hope that they would, and I'm willing to put in the work, I would love to end next year as a TEDx speaker. All right, that's it.
Well, I think those are all very good goals. And again, I think we should have stretch goals that push us because, again, if we didn't, I never would have written my books. I never would have, because I did not think I'm a writer. I'm not strong in my grammar. I'm not strong in spelling. So I actually had a teacher tell me, you are not a good writer. And so, in my mind, all my life, I'm not a good writer. That's who I am. And that's just, I accepted it. And now here I am using storytelling to write. So don't let previous conceived notions from teachers, old friends, bad people that you may have had in your head, someone saying, you can't do this, stop listening to that voice. Reassess it and try it. If you try it and realize, oh God, I am really bad at this, okay, great. But at least you tried it. And that's why I think it's always good reaching out for those stretch goals. I think it's important for us to really push ourselves to be able to do that. If I didn't push myself, I never would have gotten this book out there. So Nick, I thank you for that. Ashley, Sumana, any thoughts on Nick's share?
Nick, I really love that you included the call out of give yourself enough time. That's something that I personally struggle with. Felipe mentioned it early. It's like I have a goal and then I just want to run after that goal and the next goal and the next 10 goals that comes after that one. But lowering the bar, being really present, giving yourself enough time to complete the goal or to, invite it into your daily practice or your routine. I think that that's brilliant. And then also petition for us to have our next New Year episode be one big hairy goal, to talk about our one big hairy goal for 2026. I think
Love it. I love
that.
Good
Love
idea.
it.
I'm making a note right now.
Even if we come back in a year and some of us could say, yeah, we hit that big hairy goal in that whole year. That is awesome.
Yes, I love that. I really want that. We should do that. Sumana, or no, maybe Felipe. I think Sumana. Yeah, Sumana.
Honestly, I don't really have much else to say here. I really appreciated all the comments. Nick, thank you for joining us on stage. Gregory, thank you for joining us on stage. And yeah, I think
likewise.
We've appreciated learning from you. I've appreciated all the comments, and thank you everyone who commented on some creators that I can check out to learn more about financial well-being and wellness, and just getting a bit more clarity on money and those complicated things that I'm not very good at, but need to get good at. But I mean, I the last thing I'll say is just honestly, this whole trend, if you want to call it, ultimately it is about just building healthier habits and staying true to what is going to make us better and have a more sustainable lifestyle and a better quality of life. If we can do 3 things from now until December, that's going to either improve our quality of life or at least keep it the same and not decrease it. I think that would be my goal, and I'd love to check in and see how folks are doing in December. So Felipe, over to you for some closing thoughts.
Awesome. And Nick, thank you. Gregory, thank you. Nick, I'm going to carefully put you back into the green room. Don't trip, please. And thank you both for coming up here. And as far as that, let's just wrap up. And thank you, everyone, so much for coming. It's been so great to be back. I can't tell you how happy I am. Can't wait to be back in 2 weeks. As we always say, and we'll keep on saying this, let us know in the DMs, in the chat, what topics you want us to cover, because this is for you all. And the more you tell us, the more we research, the more we'll dig to find to talk about the topics that you want to hear about. So let us know, and we would be happy to do that. Now, as far as what we have coming up, we'll go around the room real quick and share last thoughts on what we have coming up. As I mentioned, in 1 minute, I will be on Jackson Guest here on LinkedIn and YouTube. So check us out there for her show there. She does a great interview there. And then on Thursday, the 18th, I have a special show. It's the Future Ready Voices show with my CEO, Jennifer Shuba, PhD. She has been a university professor. She has been spoken on global stages with global leaders. She's written multiple books, and she's going to be talking about the future work from a CEO perspective. She's also done a TED Talk, Nick. So if you want to see someone who's handled a tech talk, she can definitely give you some tips there. So, and I do appreciate all the support from Miranda and Max. I did put the link in the chat. If you have an idea that you need for a gift idea for a small child, I'd be honored if you thought about my book. And if you do by chance leave a review, send me a picture of the review and I will send you another copy of my book with a little note and autographed as a thank you. So with that being said, Ashley, what do you have coming up and any last thoughts?
I want to also just echo Felipe. It's so amazing to be back in this room and to get to learn from all of you. Like I say all the time, it's like I'm in a room full of smart people. And so it just makes me feel so happy to continue to get to learn from everybody. In terms of what's coming up, every Sunday, my friend and I are still hosting our Moment to Make virtual creator space. And this is essentially just a space for creatives to come and parallel play. I provide a sketchbook activity if you don't have a project to work on, and my friend curates the vibes based on that sketchbook activity. So that is happening every Sunday, 4 to 5 Central Time. And now that I'm back on LinkedIn, I've taken a break all summer, I'm going to post about it. So keep an eye out for that. And I will pass over to Sumana.
I know it's 2 minutes past. I'll keep it very short. Jetty Wellness posts monthly blogs every month, the first Wednesday of every month. September's blog is up. I put the link in the comment. That's it for me. Nothing really coming up, except that we'll be back in 2 weeks for episode 2. That's it for me. Thank you.
Wow, that was like the details of a car at the end of a commercial. Like,
yeah, that was impressive.
Hey, I'm getting better. Hey.
All right. Well, listen, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for season 4 of the Workplace Wellness Hour. It really has been an honor to be doing this for 3 years, and we look forward to season 4 being better than ever. Thanks to all of you that joined us here. So keep on coming back, bring your friends along next time, and don't forget to share your topics. And more importantly, don't forget to take care of yourselves mentally, physically, and financially. With that, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, everyone. See you, Felipe, in the other show.
United together.